Hey everybody, welcome to Workforce Gaming. I am Brad, along here with Doug.
Hi.
This week for news, there's a whole bunch of different stuff coming out about some upcoming games that I'm pretty excited about.
Mm-hmm. Not me.
Doug hates video games, so he doesn't care about any of this stuff.
No, I'm excited about games now. Like I was talking with Brad about this before the podcast. Like Ratchet and Clank and Dark Souls come out tomorrow, and I have to make. I don't know what Sophie's choice is about, but I've heard that's what you say when there's a hard choice.
I'm pretty sure that's about like killing one of your kids and like having to decide
No,
between your kids.
no, I actually do know what Sophie's choice is. Yeah, no, this is not like Sophie's choice. Hers was much harder than mine. Um,
Probably a little
but
more
it's but
serious.
I thought it's kind of interesting. Like, cause right now I'm like deciding it's like, oh, that game that I used to love as a kid versus like the type of games I play now, and now it's like I don't know. Ratchet and Clank's a great series. That game's been getting decent reviews. If it's just Ratchet and Clank with better graphics, just get that game. I can recommend that without even having played it.
We'll have a review of one of those two in the coming weeks, depending on how Doug's Best Buy trip goes tomorrow.
It does. It does. I'll be holding both. I'll be holding both in my hand, and then I'll have to make that choice.
I'm just picturing like some like really dramatic, sad music playing as you like stare at one and slowly go to put it back on the shelf, and then there's just like this
With
single tear running down your face.
whispers the sound of silence.
Speaking of that lovely song that Doug just sang for all of you, Gears of War
Mm-hmm.
4. A ton came out about this, so we'll start off. There's a new trailer that came out that kind
Mm-hmm.
of gave you a little bit more of a picture of what's going on in this new game because we haven't really found out a whole lot about Gears of War 4 other than it's Gears of War 4. But you see a little bit with Marcus's son, whose name is, I
Mm-hmm.
believe, JD, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, is he like a new character? Like, Does Marcus have a son before this game?
No, this is completely new. So this is all set way in the future. So Gears 3 ended, and I don't remember exactly how it ended, but it ended with basically the end of the war between the humans and the locust, and it was kind of the like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, we're gonna move on with our lives type thing. So it actually makes sense. So it's kind of a sequel set. I'm guessing probably, at this point 20 or 25 years in the future based on the
Mm-hmm.
trailer.
The one thing I thought was pretty cool about the trailer was that it reminded me. I think this is clearly what they were going for. Was that it's like it was very very similar to the first Gears of War trailer,
Yeah.
like the first ever Gears of War
The
trailer.
classic Mad World trailer.
Yeah, and now is the classic. I played very little Gears of War. I think the only time I ever played Gears of War was with you.
Yeah.
And I think I only played Gears of War with you like maybe two or three times. Does the tone of the original trailer actually carry on through the games?
Not at all.
So is this one like actually like it's like this time because I mean we've seen a little bit of gameplay from it. Like are they? I wonder if they're actually trying to do that. They're like, hey, we can actually do that now. Like that sort of tone, that like lonely, dark. I don't know.
I mean, the games basically just feel like your pretty standard third person shooter. Run through,
Mm-hmm.
kill the bad looking alien things, keep running, kill more bad looking alien things, get in a tank, kill more bad looking alien things. The
Yeah.
end. So there's never really been too much to the story other than you're these guys and the locust are bad and you're going to kill the locust and the locusts want to blow up the whole planet, so you need to stop them.
You say that like you don't like that game. Don't you like love
Oh,
that
I
series?
freaking love Gears. Gears is one of my favorite series, absolutely. Like Gears of War is one of the reasons I wish I had an Xbox One.
Mm-hmm. So
But
like
yeah,
seeing these
story is
trailers because
not the reason
I
to
don't.
get into that game.
So I mean, is this exciting? Like what? So what about this trailer is exciting to you? Because it's clearly a story trailer, and it's not like Gears of War. It's Gears of Battle or something. It's definitely like a minor battle, and it's not like a wartime anymore. Clearly.
Well, I'm curious to know how they do it because the first Gears was what they called oh shit. I should know this. It was something day, like essentially the beginning of the war where they first appeared. And I'm kind of getting that feeling like from the trailer of like, okay, you kind of grow up in peace, and then all of a sudden these guys come back, and this is kind of the return of the locust. Is kind of the feeling I'm
Mm-hmm.
getting. Could be made up. I don't really know the story details. I feel like there's somewhere out there than that, but I haven't really looked too much. But I don't know. I'm very excited about it just because I like the idea of okay, we're gonna make a sequel. It feels like that sequel in the same universe, but not that direct tie-in where it's like, oh, we got to keep talking about Marcus Phoenix, like he's the guy. It's like, no, we're gonna kind of move past him. We're still gonna have that connection to him because it's his son, same
Mm-hmm.
universe, all that kind of stuff. But we're gonna put enough distance so it's not just the same thing.
So it's like the episode 7 or Jurassic World, or there's a
Exactly.
whole slew of like movie sequels that are kind of like pseudo sequels, but they're also actually sequels to the original
Exactly,
franchise.
where it's that kind of like, you look at The Force Awakens and it's essentially a new hope, but there's enough new direction with it that it feels fresh, it feels different, it feels more modern. And that's kind of what
Hmm.
I'm looking at this and kind of picturing is, okay, this is the same Gears that I know and love, but they're taking the time to invest in it and kind of update it a little bit, give it that more modern flair, hopefully.
But but I don't know if it's like, it doesn't feel like modern flair. Like, I'm not saying this in a bad way, but it definitely seems like more intimate, I guess. Is that a weird word to put it? Because like there's only like 3 people in that whole trailer, and you don't even see the monsters. Like, you just don't. There's not a lot of shooting. I mean, they're shooting clearly, but it's like it's not
But if
like I was saying, like the huge war. I mean, are you okay with it now being sort of like it clearly looks like it's more like a skirmish style thing, where it's like maybe it's not a war that's going
But
on.
see,
Maybe it's something.
I think you're reading too much into that because I'm thinking of like the original Mad World trailer, and I'm thinking now it's been years since
Hmm.
I've seen it. In my mind, that's just like Marcus Phoenix and one or two other guys kind of running from a giant monster, essentially.
Yeah.
So
But I mean, they showed that they did show that in the gameplay. Like the gameplay looked very survival horror. Like when I think they released it like E3, like whatever, like
yeah,
last year. So I mean, it does seem like it has that more like single
well,
person.
if you play Gears, there's several moments that are very survival horror,
Oh, okay.
where you're like running through things, and there's I can't remember the name of them. They're like crows essentially. I don't remember the name of them exactly. It's been way too long since I played Gears. But you're running
Hmm.
through, and whenever you're not covered by anything overhead, these things swoop down and kill you. So it's that kind of like, oh
Oh, okay.
shit, I got to run through this. And there's lots of moments like that where it is this more intimate survival horror. There are not very few, but Gears does a good job of separating out these epic battle scenes with those more intimate, like we're running through an
Oh, okay.
abandoned building trying to get to the other side moments. So that has always been a part of Gears. So that makes me kind of excited about it too, that they still
Mm.
have this idea. It's not just we're going to go crazy over the top set piece like nobody's business. So to go along with the trailer, a ton of information came out as well. The launch date for it is October 11, which we had an idea of when it was. But that'll be, yeah, October 11th, which makes sense right in the time frame. They also released the box art for it, which is kind of cool. It's got a Marcus Phoenix statue in the background, which again I think is that kind of cool tie-in to like we're remembering the events of the past and moving forward with those. And it's kind of hard to see, but it's
Hmm.
kind of in the back in the dust. You can just kind of make it out. Somebody posted an image of it and kind of like highlighted and circled it. But
I'll take your word for it. I didn't see that.
yeah, I didn't see it the first time, and then somebody, I don't remember if it was on Reddit or where it was, or in a comment section or NeoGAF or whatever, but somebody circled it and like drew arrows to it and was like, "Look at this! This is cool!" And I went, "Oh, damn, that is kind of cool." Finally, well, second to finally, there's an there's an open beta April 25th for anybody with an Xbox One, which again makes me really, really want an Xbox One because I really want to play this game. And if you got the Gears of War Ultimate Edition, you get early access to that, which is cool. And this is my favorite part: is Rod Ferguson, who's the head of the new studio that's in charge of Gears, came out and said there will be split screen for all modes in this game, as in like
That is
couch
freaking
co-op
intense.
for every mode in this game, which is amazing. And I feel like is almost a response to Halo getting rid of that.
I think that's exactly what that. I think that is exactly a response to Halo getting rid of it. I'm surprised that they can do that now, because I just know like they're constantly just pushing these systems like to the brink. So I'm surprised that they're actually gonna be able to do that.
He did come out and say that with that's a part of the Gears and we can never get rid of that. But he did say when you're playing multiplayer matches, it cuts the frame rate from 60 frames per second to 30. So there is some adjustment that's going on to make this actually technically
Okay.
happen on all the back end stuff.
Oh, I guess that kind of makes sense. That's really cool though. I kind of appreciate that. Although now is like right there's a while like when I was in college and I was really missing couch co-op. But now that I like kind of have a job and I'm not around my friends constantly, like the couch co-op stuff doesn't matter as much to me anymore. Like who are you gonna play couch co-op with?
No one. But I think in my mind it's just one of those things where it's like that was my experience with multiplayer gaming
Yeah.
is and it started with couch co-op and then it moved to like these like local network LAN parties and then it went
Hmm.
back to couch co-op and you kind of go through these things where it's like to me I will never understand fully the idea of playing a game with somebody not in the room. Just the fact of
Yeah.
having somebody with you completely changes the game. To me, playing, if you're sitting here on my couch with me playing Gears of War 4, that is
Hmm.
so much of a better experience than oh, you're over here and I'm over here and we're playing together and talking on a microphone. There's just something about sitting there playing with people. I
Yeah,
think it's just the way that we grew up. You know what I mean? Like that's the games we grew up
yeah.
with. And that's not a thing anymore. And it just kind of has that like, man, people need to experience that. You need to understand the idea of bringing 4 Xboxes to somebody's house and like bringing a TV with you and plugging all these things into a router and then being able to play with 10 people in the same house.
I think it's so weird. Like this is total tangent, but like it blows my mind that like people like, oh, I play with my friends online. It's like, oh, like from like your school or something. It's like, no, we met online. It's like, what do you mean you met your friends online? What does that mean?
Yeah.
Like you've never met this person in real life. You're playing video games with them for like a decade. It's like, whoa, okay, weird. Like it's just, that is something like you're saying. I just like never got over. It's like I don't understand playing multiplayer games with people you don't know, because to me honestly when I play online games with strangers it just feels like it's like, oh, these are kind of smarter bots and some stupid bots as well.
I agree completely. That's exactly what it is. It's like, okay, these are much more natural bots. These are bots that think for themselves. That's kind of cool. It's really cool that somebody made an AI that almost thinks like an idiot person would think.
Yeah, that's like that's all I take it as. Like I don't enjoy those social aspects of it because like I think it's like you said, me and you, it's like the social aspect of gaming is somebody else in the room with you, and you can talk over mics and stuff all day long, but it's not the same thing. It's like calling somebody over the phone or having like a conversation with them in person is like two very different experiences.
Yeah, and again, I think it just goes back to generations. I mean, people a little bit older than us, I know there were, some of my older relatives talk days and days about how the way you play video games is you go to an arcade and
Oh yeah. Hmm.
and that to people is how you game with other people. For me, it's let's go to my basement. Let's sit on the couch in my basement and throw in Halo like that. And
Hmm.
nowadays, it's more just like, I turned it on and I saw this dude from Ireland was there, and hey, we play together every
Yeah,
day.
yeah, and it's kind of weird. It's like because we keep thinking of like that was like the dream for a long time. It's like you can play people across the planet, and now that we have it, it's like, well, technology wise, it's very interesting and it's very cool that we're sort of this like interconnected society. But like, I just want to shoot my friends in the face while they're
Yeah,
sitting next to me, so I can like hit like laugh at them
yeah,
to their face.
exactly. And I want to be able to yell across the room at somebody and not like just yell at myself in a room and look odd.
It's cool that I'm not sure if anybody else is bringing that back. Well, I mean, Nintendo's always been trying to do that, so I'm glad that Microsoft is sort of trying to catch on. And I don't think Sony really has like big multiplayer franchises that would even take advantage of that. Really,
No,
maybe
I
Uncharted.
yeah, but Uncharted's always been an online multiplayer. I don't feel like there was an Uncharted multiplayer before online multiplayer. I feel like Uncharted
Yeah.
kind of
Oh, I
jumped
guess
on
that's
that
true.
bandwagon. Whereas, I mean, my first experience really with Halo was I remember being in like 6th and 7th grade and sitting there with my friend before Xbox Live even existed, playing snipers on Blood Gulch. You know what I mean? Like
Oh, yeah, yeah.
that's my experience with it. Or sitting in my with my Sega Genesis in my room playing Street Fighter against somebody.
Hmm.
That's our experience with it. Whereas Uncharted, it's like, nope, that hasn't existed without that effect.
Crash Team Racing. Let's do a PlayStation Team Racing. It's coming back with Jet Moto, and then there's gonna be a new Tomba and a new Medieval. Oh, God damn it! I'm so... They brought back Ratchet at least.
Anyway,
Yeah.
multiplayer games that do and will exist.
Yeah.
Titanfall 2 had a
Hmm.
short reveal trailer today. I guess you could call it reveal. There wasn't really much to it. It was about 45
Teaser for
seconds.
sure.
And it was basically their This Exists trailer. And more
Hmm.
details are coming June 12th, which is 3 months, 2 months, 2 months from now.
Yeah, it seemed like it was gonna be like around the EA Play thing.
Yep.
That's their separate E3 that they're doing. I thought this trailer was really cool. I'm surprised you didn't like it so much.
I don't know. It was kind of a cool trailer. It didn't say much, and I don't know why. I never played Titanfall, obviously, without having an Xbox One, and
Mhm.
I don't know. I just never got that. Like, I looked down, I was like, okay, that's another first person shooter.
You know what? It's like I always kind of want to play Titanfall, so I was pretty excited for the trailer. The thing that they showed, like they showed very little, but they showed two things that like are new. One was the cool, like, okay, the mechs have swords. It's like, oh, that's kind of neat.
Yep.
But the big thing they showed is that it's like an organic environment, which is kind of big because Titanfall was all set in like just like bombed out futuristic cities.
Yeah.
So the fact that they're moving to this like organic one, they show like sort of like a monster thing in the background. So it looked kind of like to me, I was thinking it's like, oh, it's like Evolve with mechs. Like that's kind of cool. Like feel like the Evolve concept of like there's monsters and stuff on the playing field with you is really cool, and what hasn't been totally explored. So Titanfall, which kind of had this sort of, it wasn't a boring aesthetic, but it felt like they could probably do whatever they wanted with that aesthetic. Like it didn't really matter that it's like, okay, it's mechs in a city. Like you can, nobody was super attached to those Titanfall characters because they didn't even have a single player. But now they're like, okay, we're gonna have a full campaign, and we can take this basically what was like a big beta test for what we actually wanted to do, and now we can do whatever we want with that concept of having people fighting in mechs in a giant jungle with beasts and stuff running around. I don't know, it just seemed kind of cool.
I do like all those ideas, but I think you're reading an awful lot into a 40-second trailer.
No, okay. At the very least, they showed that is now an organic environment and there's swords.
Yeah,
that was pretty much it.
Yes,
but I still think that's interesting enough to say like, hey, that boring aesthetic isn't so boring anymore.
But see, I guess to me, it's what differentiates this from Call of Duty Black Ops 3 and whatever space Call of Duty is going to be, because those all at this point have mechs now and have that same kind of weird aesthetic.
Oh. Titanfall did mechs like a super weird way. Like that was like the basics for the game. Like I feel like Halo and stuff, like Halo 5 I think has mechs. Games that normally have mechs that aren't mech warriors sort of have them as like a super weapon. They're basically like the rocket launcher of the game.
Yeah.
While like Titanfall like based their entire game around mech gameplay and like interacting like on a battlefield with mechs. So I think it's like I think it's too disingenuous to say it's like, oh, it's just like those other games. I think it did set itself. If you read about it, like people clearly love that game, or they at least like that game. So I don't know. It just seemed like one of those ones how we always talk about at the beginning of a generation. There's always a game that kind of comes out. They're just sort of testing their engine. They're testing some ideas, and it's an okay game. It's pretty good. But now the sequel's coming out, kind of like Uncharted 1 to Uncharted 2. I feel like this is the Uncharted 2 of Titanfall.
I guess that could make sense. I guess, yeah. I don't know. I think it's one of those games where I just kind of wrote it off as, first-person shooter, but you're in a robot. Cool. Okay, moving on. I don't think so I don't know. The more I think about it, the more I'm curious. Because I haven't even, I haven't played more than 0 seconds of Titanfall, so I have no clue what that game is.
Well, I'm sure if they haven't, I'm sure they're going to have an open beta.
Oh, sure.
I'm liking these open betas a lot.
I love the idea of open betas. Speaking of open betas, Doom, next weekend, April 15th to April 17th, Doom has an open beta, which I'm really excited about because I really want to give this game a shot.
But I don't care about Doom multiplayer at all.
See,
like,
I don't know if I do or not, and that's why I'm curious.
Like, I mean, Doom, like I saw videos from it. It just kind of looks like it kind of looks like Unreal Tournament or Quake or Doom.
But when was the last time we had an Unreal Tournament or a Quake or anything like that?
See, that's not one that I'm like pining for though. Like,
see,
I played a lot of Unreal Tournament 3, and like even now I'm just like, do I ever want that again? Especially with the controller. Like, there's no way I want to play this game with the controller.
See, I played Unreal Tournament with a controller because I played like the Unreal Championship or whatever bullshit it was on Xbox.
Yeah.
And I loved it. And to me, this is like, okay, if this can be just as good as that, we haven't really had that arena style, like old school pick up shit multiplayer in a long time. I feel like everything's gone so much to this. Well, you've got your perks and you've got to, set your equipment before you start, and you have to decide.
Well, this is gonna be a bummer. You do set your equipment before you start a Doom round.
I just want to be able to walk around, pick up my flat cannon, pick up my rocket launcher, and just run around that way and get health packs.
You want that, but you stop playing that if you don't have any bars to fill. Like, not saying you, but that's just like, they put those bars in because that gets people to come back.
I understand, but I don't want to fill bars. I just want to play a game for fun. That's why they played the hell out of Guitar Hero, even though I've already maxed out all the bars.
Yeah, I guess. Maybe if those bars filled to something that was just like cosmetic items, I'd be more happy. I'd be okay with bars. But man, when bars just filled like get guns, like, come on, man. Like,
I just want to run around and pick up my weapons again.
Yeah, that's never gonna happen.
I know. Somebody will do it and make me happy.
They'll do it on PC and they'll kickstart it, and then it'll come out in like 5 years.
Yeah. 2025 is gonna be great. Anyway, moving on here. So a couple weeks ago, we talked about Evolution Studios, who are the Drive Club guys. They got their studio shut down by Sony because I'm assuming they more or less screwed up Drive Club over and over again. What's kind of cool here is
God damn, that was harsh. I
fine.
really we don't know why they got closed
I
down.
said probably.
No, probably means you know something.
No,
Like
probably
probably
means there's a
happened.
chance. That's probably
Okay,
what there's no other excuse.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Anyway,
You just. Mm-hmm.
some good news with that is they actually Codemasters, who makes tons of racing games I've never played that are apparently
Mm-hmm.
really good. They actually went in and basically brought in, they said, most of the staff from Evolution Studios into their staff,
Mm-hmm.
which is kind of cool just because you hear a lot about studios closing down, and this is kind of somebody going, wait, these guys were doing good work. Let's give them another shot here. So, kind of cool. A little different.
Yeah, I think it's neat. I mean, Codemasters is like they make race. I mean, they make racing games and then crappy any other kind of game.
Yeah.
But the racing games are pretty good. The thing is, like, I don't know. Like, I feel like we'd never get another MotorStorm like game out of them because they went to Codemasters. Like, I feel like they're just gonna add them to their Dirt Rally team or their F1 team or their Grid team or their Dirt team, and like, oh, now these games are gonna be better. But like, I feel like that team had like so much more potential to do something like kind of crazy. Like MotorStorm is kind of a crazy series,
Yeah.
and then Drive Club was back to like being very simulation is the right word, but it's like very
Traditional.
traditional. Yeah, exactly. And I feel like that like moving to Codemasters isn't really going to ever give them the opportunity to make a non-traditional racing game. Although they definitely weren't going to get a chance to do that at Sony. So I
Yeah,
guess.
but I think you could see maybe this because they did say, I mean, basically it sounds like they hired a ton of people from this. Like they said almost the full
Mhm.
studio worth of people. To me that sounds like almost okay, we're going to let this team kind of go and do their own thing. So maybe this is their let's try getting somebody to do an offshoot that's a little bit weird because Codemaster games are much more traditional racing style games, and maybe this is their group that they're going to say, "Okay, you guys go try something new."
I hope that's what's going to happen. I just I don't know. I think it'll be really cool when we talk about this like maybe a year from now. If we're still around a year from now, that'd be hilarious. Um, like we'll be talking about that the Drive Club devs like Evolution Studios next game. I really hope it's something exciting.
For sure. So, Quantum Break, Microsoft likes to brag about things that aren't really impressive, and this just struck me as really, really funny. So, you keep laughing at me like I'm being rude to all these people.
Yeah, well, you are. I mean, it's like people really worked hard on these games.
No, Quantum Break got great reviews. I'm really curious to play it. I'd love to try it, but just the way Microsoft's PR announced this was hilarious.
That's true.
So
Yeah.
Microsoft came out and said Quantum Break is now the best-selling new Microsoft Studios IP this generation. Which, to put that in
Yeah.
perspective, means it outsold Sunset Overdrive and Rise.
I have to imagine there's got to be one other game in there somewhere. That's like that's when they're like they do this a lot too because like something that's like fastest selling console, but it's like they beat the PS4 for like 1 week,
Yeah.
like during like a certain small period of time. It's like, oh well, okay, I guess you were that 1 week.
Well, they put one out right after the launch of the two consoles that said, "Oh yeah, Xbox was the best-selling console," and that was when you combined Xbox 360s and Xbox Ones.
Oh, that's what it was. Yeah,
It's like we're the best-selling console. Asterix, if you add both of ours together.
yeah. I can't imagine if you added like PS3 and PS4 together at that same time period too. I'm sure it would have been some sort of blowout.
Yeah.
The thing that sucks is like I honestly find some of these games more interesting than the PS4 exclusives. So it's kind of a bummer that like I'm like, never going to play this awesome game that is currently the best selling next gen new IP. I mean, that actually means something when Ubisoft says it, but I feel like when Microsoft says it, it's like doesn't really mean a whole lot.
Yeah. When you put all the disclaimers, it's like not even the newest best-selling new Xbox IP or game on Xbox. It's
Oh shit!
specifically Microsoft Studios.
Damn, it's kind of harsh. That's true though. I honestly with Microsoft being so weird about the Xbox brand and stuff, I would not surprise me if like years down the line we're gonna see these come out on PlayStation consoles.
No.
I could.
Mm-mm.
I think it's gonna happen. I think it's absolutely gonna happen.
I don't think so. I think that's a line that I don't think will be crossed.
I don't know. We'll see. We'll see when they announce. I don't think Xbox even going to be a console anymore. It's going to be like it's going to be the Steam machine like we were talking about earlier.
I for sure think that's where they're heading. But you're right.
Mm.
There are some. I'd love to play Quantum Break. Love to play Sunset Overdrive. Love to play Gears 4. I'm slowly getting to that tipping point of, is it time? Is there enough to justify it? I'm getting there slowly
On
but
the
surely.
dawn of PS4K and NX and VR, and no, no way.
See, one of those sounds like something I'm going to buy, and that's the NX. The other ones I'm not buying.
Yet. Yet.
Yet is a great way to do that. Speaking of the NX, Zelda. So, Zelda has a bunch of rumors. First of all, what's pretty much been confirmed before is that the rumor is this is going to be an NX and a Wii U game. I don't think that's anything new. It's another somebody else was
No.
floating this rumor out there. I'm pretty sure that's a guarantee at this point.
Yeah, that's. I mean, okay. Yep, probably.
A little bit more interesting is that there's a rumor going around that you'll be able to choose between a male and female Link, which again with the introduction of what was it Linkle a couple months ago
Yeah.
makes a whole lot of sense.
I think this is awesome, and I have read why people don't like this, and I don't understand why people are like miffed about it. Are you? I mean, like to me, I think that's great because I don't think Link is like a Link is just sort of this sort of like weird androgynous emoticon.
Yeah,
So like making them male or female to me doesn't matter, especially in the like the Zelda timeline stuff. Like the hero of time is like reincarnated all the time. So it's a new Link every time. So it's like okay, he could be a girl this time.
yeah, and I agree completely with
Sure.
that. If certain games, yes, I'd be kind of a little bit miffed about, but this is one of those games where it's like, you know what? It's this character has no personality essentially. This character is me. And if me for somebody else is a female version of that, then great. That doesn't change my game experience. I feel like it's the same thing with like Mass Effect with Shepard or Dragon Age or any of those games where you can choose gender. It's you're basically playing a placeholder for you. So
Yeah. I can see some people sort of like fight for the fact like, oh well, Link is his own character. It's like, well, okay, fine, but he's now this character. Like that's
yeah, and they're not drastic shifts. It's like you still have the basics of this. It's just that now one has longer hair and that's it.
yeah, I'm not quite sure like how they're gonna do it. Like I think like maybe like a fully customizable Link would be like a little weird, but like just choosing between male and female, it's like okay, sure, I guess. I mean, like it's not like they're taking a character who's like a known character and now they're suddenly male, or female. It's like it's not like Mario is now a female or anything like that. And even if they came with like a female Mario, it's like I probably wouldn't care either. Like who cares? Like it's fine. Like we have so many male video game characters. Like I kind of like every once in a while. I was like, oh, Mirror's Edge is a main series with like a female lead. Like that's kind of neat. I don't know. She looks cool.
Yeah. And yeah, I think like you said, like because this is a reincarnated idea every single time, it doesn't matter. Each one of these characters in theory is a different character. So this game's different character just happens to be customizable.
Yeah. So I don't know. Is that? I mean, I'm trying to think of a series like maybe I would care, and like I really don't unless it's like a sequel to a game, like a direct sequel to a game, and suddenly just changed the sex of the main character. It just like didn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Like if Nathan Drake was now a girl, like I was like, okay, that wouldn't actually make sense because like the whole story is so far into it. But like I really just I feel like just because a lot of video game characters are so like blah in general, you can just do whatever you want with them, really.
Agreed. The only other rumor that came out about this is this will be the first Zelda to feature voice acting for everyone in the game other than Link, which again, I kind of like the silent protagonist idea, not necessarily giving him a voice because he never really has had one. But again, I think that's just Nintendo taking this to the next step, pushing this to modern times, which I'm fine with.
Yeah, although I always like that sort of like blah 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 speak. I really like that a lot. I like that a lot in games actually because I think it sort of feels like it's still within that universe. Like, oh, okay, that is how they talk in that universe. Like when like everybody's suddenly speaking English, like I think that would be that one I'm like a little bit like weirded out about because I really do like that like in Okami and Zelda and Ico and Shadow of the Colossus where they have like this sort of weird foreign speak. It's like okay, they're like we're in a different world, so I don't know full English. I guess that one I'm like a little. I'm not disappointed. I don't really care. It's okay, sure. I just want to see what that game looks like, honestly.
Yeah.
Like these are the least interesting aspects of that game.
Yeah. Nothing. Yeah. I don't feel like it really changes much. I think it's one of those things where it's just, okay, you know what? It's 2016. We can probably afford to put voice actors in our game now.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Kids
They
don't,
probably could have before. They just didn't.
kids don't like reading anymore. Nobody wants to read.
Now that is sad. Now that is sad.
This game will sell 1 million more copies if we don't make people read.
Yeah. Although, I mean, Pokemon, they make you read Pokemon, thankfully.
Not much
As soon as
longer.
If Pokemon starts having voice acting, though, then we might have a problem because that's like the only way I feel like a lot of children read.
Oh man. All right, so to wrap this up, we got some Final Fantasy news. We'll start with 15. Bunch of details came out this week. I'll just kind of run through these and we can talk about them. So, first of all, there are over 200 quests in the game. The combat has been updated, which is much more responsive than Duskai, which I'm curious about because not so much in the Platinum demo.
Yeah, I played Duskai. I can tell you, it's like, yeah, it's better than Dusky. I mean, like, yeah, it's more responsive than Dusky, but it's like going from non-responsive to like not that great a response is not like a great. It's not a good move.
You went from
it's like this game was totally unresponsive before, and now it's only slightly responsive.
You went from an F to a D plus. Not bad.
Yeah, and that's not something to celebrate. And number of quests doesn't mean jack shit. Like that doesn't.
No, agreed.
That doesn't mean anything. Like, I'd rather have 10 really good quests than 300. It's gonna be 200 fetch quests.
Exactly. It's gonna be the 20 good story quests, 10 good side quests, and then a lot of I left my dog in the other village. Have you seen Fluffy?
Yeah, I know exactly. And like one of the things they said, like when you enter a new village, there will be hunting quests. It's like, okay, that's kill 10 boars. Like you're advertising like that's a good thing.
Yeah, that's not something I want. We don't need bars to fill.
Although that kill the behemoth one was pretty cool. If the quest structure actually is as cool as the Dusky demo, then that actually might be pretty neat. Now that I think about it, I was just being pessimistic, but actually thinking back to how they did the Dusky stuff, that was pretty neat. Shit. Well, they're not gonna be all that quality though.
Yeah, there's gonna be some crap in there. A couple other things. You're going to be able to store things in the trunk of your car. In my mind, I want this to basically be Tetris. It's not going to be, but I think that'd be great.
You just want that Resident Evil 4 suitcase thing?
I actually didn't mind the Resident Evil 4 suitcase thing because it made you think and it made sense.
No, I like it a lot actually.
Okay.
I'm not fighting you. I think that's great.
Okay, I thought you were trying to be pissy about that. No, I like the idea of like you have this much space. You get to determine how that space is used as opposed to just like you only get 6 things. Get rid of the other 6. They can be 6 rocket launchers, but you can only carry 6 things.
Oh, that is super annoying. Yeah, that is actually. I just realized like the whole Resident Evil thing actually makes sense. Like, makes a lot of sense from like a balance standpoint.
Yep.
Dang it, they're not gonna stop. Why'd you even say that? They're not gonna do that. It's Final Fantasy. When have they ever done anything like that?
When have they ever given you a car and set it in a more modern universe?
I mean, I guess.
Branching dialogue as well. Basically, they said this leads to some stat bonuses. I don't care.
Yeah. That is one thing that's super weird they did in the Dusky demo. This is totally tangent. Make this quick. You actually don't get all of your stats and bonuses until the end of the day. So like you'll get like little stat bonuses, but they actually don't add up until the day's over. So I'm really curious what that means. So is it going to be like you get? I wonder if they're going to keep that where you basically farm XP during the day and then you spend it all at night.
Ew.
I don't know.
Nope.
Whatever. You did traditional mission structure. Congratulations.
The flying car that you see at the end of the last trailer from the Uncovered event, you can actually fly that. It's completely controllable. It sounds like, though, that's going to be kind of an end game thing where towards the very, very end of the game, you got the ability to do that.
Yeah, and that, honestly, like, do you remember they talked about bringing on the Just 3 guys to do something? The Just Cause 3?
Oh, yeah.
I was like, oh, that's the thing they did. But then I was thinking, I was like, well, they're only going to do it to the end of the game. Is this just like, to me, it's just like afterthought. That's all I was like, this is just clearly an afterthought. Yep. Like,
this was a, wouldn't it be kick ass if at the end of one of these trailers the car just transformed and everybody went, what the hell? And they went, all right, throw that in the game. Why not?
Yeah, there's no way that's not going to be nearly as cool as they're pretending it's going to be.
For sure. And last Final Fantasy 15 news here: more instrumental cover songs.
Yeah, they mentioned a lot like that. They actually said that the Stand By Me is like one of a few songs where they do that. I was like, oh, that's kind of neat. That road trippy kind of. I'm really curious what they're gonna do with the music because they said that they're gonna do a lot of old Final Fantasy songs when you're driving, and they're gonna do a bunch of other songs. So I'm really curious because like soundtracks like Burnout and stuff they could be really hit or miss, and I think like a really miss Final Fantasy soundtrack is gonna be like fucking hilarious. Like, are you gonna be driving like listen to Beastie Boys, but like Final Fantasy Beastie Boys?
Oh God, no.
That
I'm
would
just
be pretty
I'm just
cool.
picturing the really crappy new Star Trek trailer that I absolutely hate because of the Beastie Boys song, which I actually love that Beastie Boys song, but I hate that trailer because of it because it doesn't fit.
You know what I'm thinking though is Saints Row
Yeah,
when they like sing along to songs.
which could be awesome, but I
That would
don't
be great.
I don't feel like that's going to be the tone. I don't feel like that's
No, it's not.
in
It's
Saints Row.
not.
That is one of my favorite parts in Saints Row is where you're driving down the road. And it's like, oh shit, I love this song. And start, yeah,
And then your character starts singing along with it. And yeah, no, it's so cool.
so good. And Final Fantasy VII, the remake, has some new news
Hmm.
along with it as well. I'm really curious about this. So, in the new issue of Game Informer, they have said that each episode will be a full scale game on par with installments of the Final Fantasy 13 sub series, which essentially puts these at 30 to 40-hour episodes of Final Fantasy VII, which is odd considering Final Fantasy VII was a 30 to 40-hour game.
Yeah, we'll see.
That was kind of my thought too. Was like, when you say this, you just mean like with Hitman, where it's like a half hour long, but you could play it 8 times, and then it's
Yeah, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Although I mean, to be fair, I got like 8 hours at Duskay demo. Well, I see. We'll see. We'll see if it actually is. If it does hit that, like, is that going to be a good 40 hours of like a third of a game? I don't know.
yeah,
It sounds like a lot of just like you're saying experimentation stuff. Like, oh, beat these guys. A lot of challenge modes and stuff.
yeah.
Yeah.
Which, again, I'd rather just, you know what? Give me it in five. Give me, let's say 5 8 hour chunks.
Yeah.
I would
Yeah.
prefer
Sure.
that
That's
to
fine.
like, here's 3 40 hour chunks because we like time.
Yeah. I mean, like Final Fantasy, like Square is really bad at like just like liking to extend games out just for the sake of it. Especially Square Enix, like Enix games. Like I've heard some Dragon Quest games. Can you like literally just like on a normal playthrough get in the 100 hour mark? So it's like saying your game's long is not exciting to me. It's actually kind of makes me kind of I don't know if I really want to play this.
Yeah, I'd be much more excited about those 8 hour episodes than I would about a couple 40 hour ones because I'm gonna go, well, I'll finish the first one, play 5 hours of the second one, and probably won't even bother with the third one. But
Just like Final Fantasy 13. Although you played through two, didn't you?
I played through the first two, and I'm like 10 hours into Lightning Returns.
Yeah.
Yeah, Final Fantasy 13,
I can't believe you actually play those games.
one of the few. And finally, it'll have similar combat visuals to Dissidia.
Hmm. Yeah, Nomura made the comment that he thinks like what he sees Final Fantasy this is like it's basically going back to Advent Children. Like that's where this all sort of started. Like the sort of like Matrixy Neo fighting was
Yeah,
Final Fantasy VII Advent Children, and he's like that's what I want the combat to look like. So I was like, oh, that's kind of cool, but it's gonna be man. I hate when a game looks like an action game, but it's not. And I feel like that's what they're doing with Final Fantasy now, and a lot of turn-based games are doing that. It's like it's turn-based, but it looks like an action game.
we made these
Try to
menus
be
look
an action
so
game.
good.
Yeah, well, that and like, oh, this animation's super cool. I wish I was actually doing that instead of telling somebody to do that. I don't know. I'm weird about turn-based games though, so
It'll be curious. I don't know. I'm really curious to see how this whole Final Fantasy VII thing plays out because it could end up really, really bad, really, really quick.
I think it's just gonna be versus 13 again. It's not. It's gonna be like it's gonna turn to Final Fantasy 17 or something. I promise you.
Well, we'll be talking about that 10 years from now. So 2026, look forward to our coverage of Final Fantasy 17, Final Fantasy 7, the remake.
Yeah. I hope that's the whole title. No, but you could see that though, like
Oh, for sure.
Final Fantasy 7 remake, and then like all of a sudden like a one drops like shing, and it says Final Fantasy 17. Like that makes too much sense.
Oh god, that'd be perfect.
Or like,
Oh,
yeah, well, it would work too because you just put an X in front of it too. So it'd be like shing shing. It'd be like XVII.
yep.
It's happening.
Damn it. That's going to be a thing. Well, I'm excited for whatever 16 is. Probably another MMO. But
No, we actually have. Okay, real quick, we've seen 16. They've set. Have you seen that trailer like a long time ago? They released a 16 trailer a long time ago. Maybe we could put it in this part where we actually show the trailer. It was like a girl and like she's like in like some like weird Final Fantasy Afghanistan and she's got like a big feather coat.
Yeah.
They've said a few times that that is at least the inspiration for Final Fantasy 16, which actually looks pretty awesome. So I'm kind of excited.
All right, so that will do it for this week's news update. We are
Mhm.
Workforce Gaming. You can follow us on Twitter at Workforce Gaming. Subscribe to us here on YouTube or on iTunes or wherever it is you happen to enjoy listening to us, because we post stuff there a lot. So you should subscribe. It'd be cool. But yeah, that'll do it for this week. We'll see you later.
Bye.